This is the Uke Revolution. I'm Brooke, and you're watching a lesson for Stevie Wonder Higher Ground. I wanted to make this a play-along, but there's some funky things with the strum, so I think it's better to teach you how I'm going to play it, and then we can do like a verse and a chorus kind of play along near the end. So, without further ado, we're not playing this in the original key, we're playing a half step down. So if you want to play along with like a recording of Stevie Wonder, you can put a capo on the first fret, or a marker and a rubber band goes around the top and the bottom to make yourself a DIY capo. And then you can play in the original key with the same chord shapes and positions. We're playing half a step down because it's a little bit easier, the chords are easier. Fun fact about Stevie, a lot of his songs are written in flat or sharp keys because those chords have more black keys on the piano and they're easier to find if you're blind. Interesting fact, but makes it a little difficult for an instrument like ukulele. The strings that we tune to are all corresponding to white keys on the piano. If you have song written in a flat or a sharp key, like this song is originally in E flat, then you have to alter all of the strings so you can make the chords for that key. So I'm going to put this in like an easier key to play. So we're playing it in D. That was a lot of talking, but I just like to share interesting and possibly useful information with you. The chords for this song, we're using D, the top 3 strings of the 2nd fret. I'm going to play with my thumb like this. You might like to do that too if it makes it easier for you, but you know, you do you. F, the 1st fret, the 3rd string down, and the 2nd fret, the top string. G, the 2nd fret, the 2nd and bottom string down, and the 3rd fret, the 3rd string down. Then we have E, so that is the 2nd fret, the bottom string, and the 4th fret, the top 3 strings. Again, I will be playing it with my thumb like this. Then we have A, so A is the 1st fret, the 2nd string down, 2nd fret, the top string. What else? F sharp 7 and G7 up here with bar chords. So that will be the 6th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. The 6th fret barred, and then the 7th fret, the bottom string. And then we slide that up, swoop, to the 7th fret barred and the 8th fret, the bottom string for G7. That's for one part of the song. In another part of the song, we have G and G7 together. So I'm playing that down here with the regular G. And then G7, that will be the 1st fret, the 3rd string down, and the 2nd fret, the 2nd and bottom string. Why, Brooke, you ask? Well, that is because the F sharp 7 and the G7 come together at one point, and another time, the G and the G7 come together. So we have 2 different G7 positions. Then we have D7, so the top 3 strings of the 1st fret and the bottom string of the 3rd fret. Again, I might play that with my thumb like this. There's 2 more chords. One is C7, so that's the 1st fret, the bottom string, and E7. So we're going to bar the 4th fret and add the bottom string of the 5th fret. That's it. I know it seems like a lot. When we do the little play along later, I'll put the chord names here. As far as strumming goes in the song, we're doing a couple of different funky little things, but one of the standard strums that we're using is basic strum 1, and you can find a lesson for that on the channel if you don't know it yet. It's a pretty popular ukulele strum, down, down, up, down, up. But since we're doing a couple of different strum things for each part, I'll show you which strumming thing we're doing in each part. But just so you know, basic strum 1 is coming in the lesson, and this is the link to the lesson for that strum on my channel. So let's learn parts of the song. First is the verse. This is the people, keep on peopling. Just kidding. Okay, so we're playing D and then F, G. So this is gonna make that little chugging along riff. Down, 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 down. We're playing D, down, down, F, down, G, down. D, D, F, G, D, D, F, G. That's the most basic, simple way to play it. You can add an up strum between the D and the F like this if you want to. Down, down, F, G, D, D, F, G. So we're gonna do that 8 times. It's for like the first 2 lines of the verse. After the D, F, G thing, when we get to world, keep on turning, this is the trickiest part of the whole thing. But I'm gonna show you a way you can simplify it if you can't quite nail the trickiness, okay? So we're doing the same thing like we did with D, F, G with E, G, A. So we moved everything up a step. E, G, A, E, back to the E, instead of going to G, A, we're going to that F sharp 7 and G7 up here. So really slowly it sounds like this. E, G, A, E, F sharp 7, G7. When you get to that G7, we're using basic strum 1. Once again, very slowly. E, G, A, E, F sharp 7, G7. When you finish that one round of basic strum 1 pattern with G7, we go to C7 down here and just hit it. 'Cause it won't be too long. And then we are back to the D, F, and G again. We get the train back on the track. If you feel like you can't get that F sharp 7 and G7 in up here and do all that moving back and forth, then you can try this. E, G, A, then E with basic strum 1, G7, C7. So we're just moving from the E, G, A to E, G7, and then the C7, and we're all kind of back together, meeting back together at C7. So all of that together will sound like this. This is just the D, F, G. The people keep on learning. Soldiers, still D, F, and G. Keep on warring. Now we're going to E. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. So we do that same thing for all of the verses whenever you're telling groups of people to do stuff. And a note about that little riff, the little D, F, G. If you get lost in the song, you lose your way, don't know where you are, you forget the words or whatever, don't know what you're doing, just come back to that D, F, G. And pretend like nothing happened and no one will ever know. Another little note about that riff, the D, F, G, you could use D7 if you like. If you like how that sounds, it's going to make it sound a little bluesier. Okay, let's learn the second part of the song. We can call this verse B, or the bridge, I guess. For this part, we're using basic strum 1, and it's pretty straightforward and easy, a lot easier than the other part of the song. We're playing G7 and D7. We do that 3 times, and then we play E7. All of those chords for one round of the strum pattern. Then we're going to play G and G7. And for those, they happen pretty quickly, so we just strum down 2 times. G, G, G7, G7. Then we're back to D and the riff, the D, F, G riff. So that will sound like this. G7, D7. Again. And then E7. So let's play a little bit of it together. Let's jam. A people keep on learning. The soldiers keep on warring. Or not. Well, keep on turning, yeah. 'Cause it won't be too long. My favorite part, coming here. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again. So last time on earth I lived the whole world of sin. I'm so glad I know more than I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach the higher ground. You guys keep on, you can. Subscribers, I keep on subscribing. Singers, keep on singing, 'cause it won't be too long. my name.